Good morning, beloveds. I have a cam meow for you if she'll turn around and look at you, which she won't. Sugar's a little clingy. Her respiratory virus is acting up. So she doesn't feel particularly good. So she's being a little clingy. That's one of the things that I appreciate with my furry children is that a lot of times when pets don't feel good, they hide. Mine don't. They want to come sneeze in my face. So, all right. Yes. I need to read my book now, okay? Can I put you in my lap? Oh, you gonna go up? Okay, well, you can do this. Where are you going? You're gonna make this a challenge, aren't you, baby girl? All right. You coming down? Where are you going? You gonna read the book? Okay. I know, she's distracting. Okay. It is October 15th. Our title is God Around Me, God Within Me, All Is Well. And our quote is, one Lord, one faith, one baptism, one God and Father of all, who is above all and through all and in you all. And that is Ephesians 4, 5 and 6. Lines 5 and 6. All right. Okay, why don't you go down? We live in the midst of an unlimited presence, forever in action as an unlimited mind. It created us and it sustains us. It operates through us. All it asks of us is our recognition of it. As we affirm the presence and power of God in our lives, something happens within us to improve us. This can be tested by anyone who wishes to see what will happen when God works in his experience. It requires no advanced study, no approaching... hang on. It requires no advanced study, no educational background, no particular vocabulary or posture. The process of approaching the deity is merely one of knowing it is and that it abides within. What we affirm, we become. As we affirm God, we actually become the sons of God and the heirs to all that God is and has. Draw nigh to God, and he will draw nigh unto you. There is only one presence, God, and I am in it. There is only one power, God, and it acts through me this day. There is only one mind, God, and it is my mind now. All around me, at every instant, is the same presence that enfolded Jesus. The same mind which acted through him is now in action through me. I am the heir of all that God is and has, and I know it. I live in a spiritual universe governed by a spiritual law that is always working for my good. I am safe with God. I am safe, for God is with me. I am wise, for God is in me, as my consciousness. There is nothing to fear. God around me, God within me, all is well with me today. All right. So that's one of Ernest's drum beats, is consciousness, consciousness, consciousness. And he believes that for a number of reasons. It's important that we know who we are. We know who we are. We know where to turn, because where our attention goes, that's where our power goes. So if we know, well, and I think that's why he says it requires no advanced study, no educational background, no particular vocabulary or posture. One of my beefs with religion is that it's like they require specific words, and they require specific postures, and they require specific, you have to go and be educated. And yet some of the most spiritual people you will ever meet have done none of that. They've never read sacred literature. They've never read, they've never been to religious school. They've never done any of that. They've never done any of that. But they're in tune with the spirit. They're in tune with nature. They're in tune with the world. They recognize that they're part of a greater whole. And I like that Ernest keeps saying in God. In God. He doesn't say we are God. He says we are in God. It's a recognition that God is all around us all the time. There's nothing that is not God, and it absolves us of frequently we are accused of being a little egotistical. Well, you think you're God. No, we don't think we're God. We know that we're in God. We know that we're part of God. We know that what God is flows through us. And so it's a way of making clear. It's like, look, we're all part of this greater whole. We're all pieces of this amazing, enormous, I was going to say puzzle, but you could also say threads in a tapestry. We're woven together. So what affects one of us affects all of us. And so it's really important to know who we are and to focus on that. And it's an experiment that we of Science of Mind are always encouraging people to try. Like if you're, it's similar to the gratitude journals. If you're having a rough day, count your blessings, because that will show you that your life is better than you think it is when you're in one of those modes. Okay, and it will help pull you out of that mode. And it's the same thing. It's like, well, act like a beloved child of God. You are a beloved child of God. So act like it. Think that you are. Act like it. It's kind of that fake it until you make it. Act like a beloved child of God. It is what you are. But if you act like it, see how it makes a difference in your life. See how it makes a difference in your life. All right. So God around me, God within me, all is well. And it really, there is something that it's like, no matter how much chaos is going on around me, if I can stop for a moment, take a deep breath, and then kind of center myself. It's like the chaos is still going around me, but I'm not participating in it anymore. And once I'm not participating in the chaos anymore, then the chaos level starts to drop. And then people look at me and go, well, she's not freaked out, so maybe I don't have to be either. And it continues to drop. So that's, things have to be done to fix the chaos. But the first step is to know who you are and know you don't have to participate in it. So, our Lord, one faith, one baptism, one God, and Father of all, who is above all and through all and in you all. In you all. Right there. Ephesians. There's one God. We have millions of different names for that God, but there's one. And we're all talking about the same God. We're coming at it from different directions and different viewpoints and, different cultures, but it's the same one. We just all have different names for it. All right, so we live in the midst of an unlimited presence, forever in action as an unlimited mind. Right there, that's what we believe. It's an unlimited presence, an unlimited mind that we live in, which means we have access to. It created us and it sustains us. It operates through us, which is why we frequently say God can do for you what God can do through you. So when you ask for whatever it is that you're asking for, be it stuff or a change in attitude, then you have a part to play in creating that for yourself. But you are opening yourself up to guidance from that. All it asks is our recognition of it, because it's going to do through us. It doesn't need us to recognize it to exist. All right. And that may be one of those things. You go back and read some of the later mythologies where the gods needed us to exist. That's not what we're talking about here. God doesn't need us to exist. But if we recognize it, then we are open to it, then we are able to cooperate with us. And that right there, that's what's important. That's why God needs us to recognize it. Because when we recognize God, then we cooperate with God. We become the co-creator that we truly are. Rather than, if we're not recognizing the one mind, the one presence, the one power, we might be working at cross purposes with it. Okay? It really is about cooperation. And to cooperate, you gotta know that the other party is there. All right? As we affirm the presence and the power of God in our lives, something happens within us to improve us. And that's what I'm talking about, that co-creator. We become co-creators because we are aware that the power exists and that we have the right and the responsibility to use it. So we become co-creators. That's where that's the beginning of the change. That's the beginning of the change. So, where is it? This can be tested by anybody who wishes to see what will happen when God works in their experience. It requires no advanced study, no educational background, no particular vocabulary or posture. Which is why I'm constantly talking about, if these words do not resonate with you, feel free to change them. Ernest is okay with that. Feel free to use his words if they resonate with you. And if they don't, pick words that do. The process of approaching the deity is merely one of knowing it is and that it abides within. So where do you go to look for the deity? Within. Within you. When what we affirm, we become. What we affirm, we become. It's like the words that you use the most are who you are. What we affirm, we become. As we affirm God, we actually become the children of God and heirs to all that God is and has. Draw nigh unto God, and God will draw nigh unto you. All right, so mantras, power statements, things like that. There is only one presence, God, and I am in it. There is only one power, God, and it acts through me this day. These are excellent words that if you got to get some stuff done, these are words that will help juice you up. There is only one mind, God, and it is my mind now. All around me at every instant is the same presence that enfolded Jesus. It's just a reminder, the same mind that we are using today is the mind that Jesus used. So you go back and you read Jesus' story and you see all the amazing things that he did. That's why Jesus said, all of these things that I have done, you too shall do and more. Because we're using the same principle, we're using the same power, it's the same presence. All right. The same mind which acted through him is now in action through me. I am the heir to all that God is, has, and I know it. I challenge you to say that to yourself. I challenge you to go and look in the mirror and say to yourself, I am the heir of all that God is and has, and I know it. I mean, it makes me want to straighten up a little bit. I live in a spiritual universe governed by a spiritual law that is always working for my good. Always working for my good. I am safe, for God is with me. I am wise, for God is in me as my consciousness. And why is that important? Because God is love. That's one of the things that we straight up believe. And if we take actions out of love and in love, then we will always make the right choice. We will always make the right choice, even when it's hard. Even when it's hard. There is nothing to fear. God around me, God within me, all is well with me today. And sometimes that's what we need to remind ourselves when the world has lost its mind, there's chaos all around us, then we can ground and center by knowing that God is all there is. We become an island of calm. We stop participating in the chaos, and the chaos level around us drops as we give people a chance to figure out who they are, because we know who they are. Because they can come and sit in our island of calm for a moment, ground and center themselves, and then they become, and it spreads. All right, so the mission today, should we choose to accept it? Well, we've all heard it. Where was that line? Nope, I've lost it. There was a really good line in here. Well. Okay, I'm going to go back to the line that I said, the homework that I gave you. The mission today, should we choose to accept it, is to know that we are the heir of all that God is, has, and to know it. To know it. To recognize that presence. To recognize that presence all around us. And more importantly, within us. Within us. All right, beloveds. It is Friday. As I always do, I encourage you to do something loving for yourself, do something kind for yourself, do something compassionate for yourself, whatever that looks like. Absolutely, whatever that looks like. Be it big, be it small, it does not matter. It only matters that you take a loving, kind, compassionate action for yourself. Because I want you to create a permanent habit of being kind, being loving, and being compassionate with yourself. The more you do it of yourself, the more permanent the habit becomes. It becomes a default habit. So when the chaos hits, because it will, you have a default. You have a default that will give you a minute to think. You also have a bank of that kindness, that compassion, that love, so that when you meet people that need it, you have plenty to share. All right? You deserve your own loving, kind compassion because you are a beloved child of God, in whom God is well pleased. Always. Always and forever. It's a state of grace. Okay? The best thing about grace is it's not earned. It cannot be taken away. But it is always given. Always given. All right. I'm going to encourage you to do something to engage your mind and your body, whatever that looks like today. I got a good bike ride in that I didn't get yesterday because it was raining. Encourage to drink plenty of water. Go get that face full of sun first thing this morning. There was an interesting meteorological event where the sun was coming up over the horizon and there were clouds, and so there were like these streaks of blue and this streak of gold. It was great. It looked like a spotlight. It did. And it was the sun coming through the clouds. It was fun though. I enjoy the interesting play of lights and clouds, which you know if you followed me on Instagram. Okay. Now, it is Friday. That means the High Mysticism book study is today. I think that starts at 6:30. Email info@creativelife.org. Get on that mailing list. That'll get you access to that. And then you can get that Zoom link if you're interested in that. Emma is awesome. I love Emma. And Sarah's really good. So, and tomorrow is Saturday. I assume that I'm going to go work the Renaissance Festival, which means I will probably end up doing the live stream really late again tonight or tomorrow night. So if you look for it at 9 a.m., it may not be there. And I apologize for that. I just can't figure it out. So I'll get it done. Just, it may be in the PM, not the AM. Okay. Do what you need to do to make it a great day, an amazing day, a wonderful day, a fantastic day. A good day. And if that is too much pressure, simply have a day. All right, beloveds. Know that you are loved. Drink plenty of water. And I will see you next time, whenever that is. But Reverend David should be on around 5 p.m. today and tomorrow. Around 5 p.m. His schedule's a little less consistent than mine is. And like I said, check us out on the social medias. I'm the Running Rev Ryan on all of the platforms that I'm on. And we are Creative Life Spiritual Center on YouTube and Facebook, and Creative Life Spark on Instagram and TikTok. All right, I know. I hear myself say TikTok. We'll get there. We'll get there. We're learning. All right, beloveds. See you next time.